Sunday. Good morning. Good day, loved ones. What a beautiful day to be alive, huh? I feel so wonderful this morning. So squeaky clean. And it's because of a very simple reason. Because I'm cleaning myself with pure water. And that pure water is coming from me. Now, that's a beautiful thing because it works so well. You know, I rub it on my body, I drink it, I use it for enemas, and it is awesome how beautiful it works, how clean it is. Now, we've been raised in an incredible myth about water. You know, I don't know where you grew up, but when I grew up in this country, I was told to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Now, if you actually look at that, it's, you know, what it is slow poisoning, especially because we grew up in a municipalities with tap water that came from really bad chemically induced sources with chlorine and fluoride and God knows what else they're putting in the water. So by drinking 8 glasses of that a day, what you're doing is basically just slowly poisoning yourself. And it's been proven that fluoride, just in itself, will create, it causes dementia and Alzheimer's. It goes in and dumbs down the pineal and the pituitary glands. They calcify, and that's what happens with our body. Now, if you're drinking, you know, any other source like spring water or mineral water, these two are also a myth because they're filled with inorganic material. They are filled with dirt, basically, and it does not do your body any good. So, all the water that's coming from springs and mountains and streams that are in cisterns, that are in wells, aquifers, these are all containing inorganic material, dirt. And it also has a high concentration of lime, which the lime is what is really a endangerment to our systems, because lime will go in and it deposits itself in our bodies, and it basically will leach onto our organs and into our bones, and it leaches there. So this is how you get like stiff joints, hardening of the arteries. Um, it's because of this inorganic material, and it's just slow poisoning. It takes a long time. It's not like you drink a bunch of water one day and boom, there it is. No, this happens over time. This is where calcification and ossification comes from. This is how it works, because you put it in your body, and this comes in all forms. It's not just water. You know, you're using that same water, you're drinking with it, brushing your teeth with it, with fluoridated toothpaste, bad move. And it just gets worse because it's what's used in beer and alcohol and soda. It's what's being pushed on us. And by drinking spring water, mineral water, any of these other supposed, you know, waters, what we're doing is making multi-gazillionaires out of Nestle's, Coke, and Pepsi because they have dominated the water supplies. And what they're doing is robbing billions and billions of gallons of water from other uses, like, you know, our households, huh? You know, where you could be washing your clothes, or, you know, you could be taking a shower, or watering plants or your garden, or this, that, or the other. All of that is being compromised in a big way because of the bottled water industry. Now, if we want to really do something that's healthy, and I mean really healthy, you want to drink distilled water, because distilled water has 0 parts per million of any inorganic matter. So it works like a magnet. It goes into our body and it goes after all those inorganic materials, and it draws them out like a magnet, and it pulls them out of our body. So when I started my urine therapy, I jumped right in. I was drinking, it was like looping. I was drinking a ton of urine, and I was drinking equal amounts of distilled water. I was buying it in the gallon jugs from the grocery store, and I was consuming a minimum of a gallon a day of my urine and distilled water. And as a result, within 10 days, the joints were moving. The pain was gone. My arthritic hands, my arthritic knee, they were just like, it's like a miracle. Now, if you do enough research, you're going to learn that you've been led astray, that we have been fooled, we have been duped, and it's just on purpose, because the dumb down effect has, no end in sight. They put it in everything, okay? They put it in all the food. They put it in all the beverages we drink. Everything is leached. It's just full of inorganic materials that are bad for the body. This is why it's slow poisoning. We can condition our bodies to accept anything over time. I mean, you can do heroin or crack. It's the same thing. You start slow and you keep building it up. And after a while, yeah, your body just has a lower and lower um, um, the tolerance. So you just take more and more and more. And over time, this stuff accumulates. It's a deposit. It burrows into our bodies. And if we really want to clean ourselves, man, I'm telling you what, you got to get away from the spring water. You got to get away from the mineral water. There's a vested interest in these things. Even when you go to these spas, these retreats, with the mineral waters, there's somebody making a profit out of it. It's not really the healthiest thing, although it feels good. God knows I love it. I mean, I love jumping into a hot tub. And I love going to the hot springs and, sulfur hot springs and these kind of things. They feel great. They're hot and they're bubbly and they feel great. They're not necessarily good for us, but they feel good, in the moment. And I agree. I'm totally down with that. But if you really, really, really want to be clean, then what you want to do is stay away from that stuff. Start washing your body with your aged urine. Start, doing enemas with aged urine. Start drinking your fresh urine. Start cleaning your eyes and your ears and everything else, hair, with your urine, because it is awesome and it's pure. And it's a beautiful way to go about it. It's so natural and healing. And it feels really, really good. You'll never know until you know. And the people that know, know. The people that don't know, don't know. Sound like Donald Rumsfeld. And so I'm happy to be in the know. I do know. And it does feel great. So um, get past the myths. Do some homework. Go and do some research on water. You'll find out that, not all water is the same. It's just not. And you got to be conscientious about what you're putting in your body if you really, really, really want to be healthy. It's true. So I had I wrote some of these thoughts down and put them in a little piece. I'm going to share that with you now, if that's okay. So this is entitled, This is Pure Water. There is a myth about water that very few know. The more you consume, the more you will grow. Most water will harm you. Just give it time. Creating deposits hardened by lime. Our joints and organs get sore and stiff from overconsumption of this water myth. Tap water is the worst from chemicals used. Chlorine and fluoride are forms of abuse. Any groundwater that springs from the earth contains minerals, making our bodies inert. Only pure water is medicinally sound, naturally distilled, and not from the ground. You can find it in urine, snow, fog, and rain. This is pure water, where no deposits remain. And that's how it works. Now, let's be clear about the rain, the snow, and the fog, because what is happening, like with the chemtrails and the poisoning of our air, even that water can be questionable in its purity. Now, the only way to ever know is you get one of these things. These are, meters to, test your water to see what kind of, inorganic material might be harboring in your water. And it's really fascinating to put it to the test, because when you put it in distilled water, it comes up 0. You put it in mineral water or spring water, it'll come up 40, 50, 60, 70 parts per million of inorganic material. Put it in a soda or coffee or a glass of wine, and boom, it's off the chart. How much stuff's going in that's not right. So if you really care about your body, if you really want to heal, drink your pee. Do it. And only drink distilled water. I assure you, it's worth doing a little investigation. Do some homework. Find out for yourself. Realize what you're putting in your body so that you can curb your poisons and find your purity. And with all that being said, I love you purely. I do. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. And boom, you've just been loved. So bye now.